You know what? I'm not going to talk about Skratch today. I'm going to talk about how sexy my beard is getting. What's up everyone out there? Taren here from A-Race. Yes, today we are in fact talking about the Skratch Labs Exercise Hydration Mix. A little bit of background on Skratch here. The company actually unofficially started back in 2008 when this dude named Dr. Alan Lim was working with the Garmin Pro Cycling team at the Tour de France. And what he noticed was that the riders were actually watering down the traditional really syrupy electrolyte drinks that they were using. So he ended up going back to the drawing board and started from scratch until he had more or less the formulation that became Skratch Labs. Word about this new really mild electrolyte drink spread, and in 2012 Skratch Labs officially launched out of Boulder, Colorado as one of the first mild electrolyte drinks out there. So what we've got here is an all-natural, easy on the gut, easy to digest drink that when compared to that original syrupy Gatorade drink, it's got even more electrolytes, but only half the calories and half the sugar. So Skratch is not for the athletes that are looking to get all of their calories and all of their electrolytes in their water bottle, because it only has about 80 calories per serving. It's for athletes who don't like the taste of those really syrupy electrolyte drinks, or athletes that just really have a flat-out tough time digesting that syrupy stuff. The idea behind this is that you get all of the electrolytes in your bottle, and all your calories should be taken from gels, chews, or bars that come from your pocket. And this concept of electrolytes in your bottle and calories in your pocket, a lot of companies are going towards this. Even Gatorade is actually making a move towards a more mild tasting drink. Now, let's get on with the points. Taste. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. One of the really nice things about Skratch Labs is that all of the coloring, all of the flavoring, it actually comes from real fruit. That fruit is so real that in some of the flavors you actually get tiny little bits of fruit floaties sitting in the bottle. It's not a big deal because you don't taste them. Really just reminds you how natural Skratch Labs stuff is. The only reason that I don't give it a full 5 out of 5 score is because while I love the lemon lime flavor and the pineapple is absolutely banging, they do have a couple flavors that I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big matcha and green tea kind of guy, and the raspberry flavor to me was a little bit light. So they didn't taste bad, and quite honestly, they were really good when they were cold, just not something that I'd want to have 4 or 5 bottles of on a long ride. For ease of use, I'm going to give them a 4.5 out of 5. Really isn't a whole lot to complain about as far as using the product goes. They've got the bag with the scooper included, a must for filling up bottles at home, and they've got singles for putting in your pocket when you go on the road. The reason that I dock them that half point is because of the singles. The singles are perforated at the top, but I just found that they ended up getting a little bit mangled out there, and sometimes it took a little while to open up a big enough hole to pour it out. Not a huge issue. Overall though, good product, mixes really well because they use a very fine baking sugar, super easy to use. Effectiveness, I'm going to give them another 4.5 out of 5 because as far as an easy to digest, no sloshing around, light on the gut, all the electrolytes you're going to need in a drink, this is your meat and potatoes. I think that all races out there should be using a much more mild drink like this. Digesting it is really easy. Oddly enough, cane sugar is the #1 ingredient. You might go, wow, geez, that's a lot of sugar. It's not actually a lot of sugar. Cane sugar is the most basic form of sugar, and it comes in a perfect 50-50 split of glucose and fructose. So having just that little bit of sugar in there gives you some calories, which helps you digest and absorb all the water that you're taking in. And then beyond that, the sugar that they use is a natural kind of sugar. It's the right kind of sugar that doesn't end up giving you a big energy spike and a big energy crash after. The one complaint that I have about the effectiveness of Skratch is that I don't know if it's craving more or not quenching my thirst, but I find myself drinking a lot more of this than I usually would, so I've got to take more on my rides. That then leads into price. So as far as price goes, I'm only going to give Skratch a 3.5 out of 5. And I'll tell you why. I'm not going to say that it's overpriced considering that it's a premium product and better quality in my opinion, but considering the fact that, like I said, I crave a little bit more of it and drink a little bit more of it, I do think that it does get to be a little bit pricier in the long run. That, combined with the fact that it's not just an amazing, stupendous deal, it's just under $20 for about 20 servings, so it's a fair price, but going through a little bit more of it, I am going to only give it a 3.5 out of 5. Overall, I give Skratch Labs Exercise Hydration Mix 4.5 out of 5. It's right in there with some of my favorite products. This is a staple of mine in my water bottles. It is absolutely comparable to some of my other favorite electrolyte drinks like Osmo Nutrition. I'll put a link to that review for the Osmo Nutrition electrolyte drink in the description below. You can check that out if you want. The bottom line of Skratch is that if you're sick of the syrupy drinks but you still want to get all of the electrolytes that you need, one serving of this in your average water bottle is going to get you more than 300 milligrams of sodium. More than enough, and it's really light tasting and easy on the gut. So I have no problem recommending this for anyone that's sick of syrupy drinks, or if you've got digestive issues with syrupy drinks and you find yourself sloshing around in the stomach, give Skratch a try. You're not going to be upset with this. So that is it for Skratch. If you like the video, as always, hammer that thumbs up button, comment below. Let me know what you think about Skratch or what you think of my beard and how sexy it is. Let's not kid ourselves, it's phenomenal. Subscribe to the channel above, check us out at www.aracenutrition.com, and hit us up on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Instagram. It's all at A-Race Nutrition. Kill your racing and your training. We'll see you next time. Battle the bomb.